Hello and welcome to my in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 20th of December for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you the major strands of this week before diving deep and in forensic detail giving you each of the 12 zodiac sign forecasts, so please stay with me for that. This week is going to see the Sun arrive in the sign of Capricorn on Tuesday, but this also heralds the winter solstice. So we're entering the fourth quadrant of the Western tropical astrological year, so the last 13 weeks run. So this is a really notable transition. The sign of Capricorn is very much to do with structures, it's to do with the more traditional features of life. It can be an area that we have a focus on goals and ambitions, and therefore to do with our professional interactions, but not exclusively. Of course, the sign of Capricorn is Earth, and it is cardinal, so it's very much a sign of leadership. So the free-spirited energy of Sagittarius makes way for the more somber vibe of Capricorn, but we still have Mars in Sagittarius, which is a very adventurous combination. And in fact, by the end of this week, Mars is forging a super link with Saturn. So when we get the energy of Mars combining collaboratively with the structural energies of Saturn, that can be very positive. Now, as this week begins, we also have Mercury in a terrific angle with Uranus across the first 3 days. Mercury already in the sign of Capricorn, dazzling in the electric link with Uranus, asks us to be very open-minded about how we deploy our resources. Anything to do with business decisions as well. The more innovative we are, the better it can be. Remember, the full moon from last week is still very, very potent this week. And that's basically saying to us that we need to use our language carefully. The everyday communications of the moon in Gemini competing with the more expansive energies of the Sun in Sagittarius. So choosing our words carefully this week continues to be a theme. If we're traveling anywhere, important to check out things carefully. But Jupiter was very supportive to that particular lunation. So I think there can be some uplift from that feeds into this week. But by Friday, by Christmas Eve, we do have the square between Saturn and Uranus repeating itself exactly for the third time this year. But you know, the truth is, within a few degrees, they've actually been agitating at one another pretty well since about the second week of January. But this just reminds us that the liberty that Uranus wants us to have has to be balanced against the responsibilities that Saturn wants us to show. So there could be something that is stopping us being quite as free as we would like on Christmas Eve. And then on Christmas Day, we have the second of two conjunctions between Venus and Pluto. The first was on the 11th of December, and of course last week Venus went into its retrograde. Now this could bring about some real lovely sentimental connections, perhaps to people from our past. Perhaps we can really appreciate how fortunate we are to have the folks in our life that we have had. But if you're in a relationship where there is quite a lot of leverage around money or even intimacy, Venus's combination with Pluto can make us much more conscious of the power balance that's going on Christmas Day as well. Can you believe it? So that's a potentially tricky one, but definitely an opportunity to celebrate the stability of the relationships that do work well for us. And if you're not in a relationship, or even spending this Christmas time alone, which I have experienced myself, and it's not easy, what I would say to you is this does give you an opportunity to think very profoundly about what you would like going into next year, future forward. But I am now going to share with you each of the 12 zodiac signs in detail. But just before I do, remember, if you'd like to sign up for your free daily horoscope, written horoscope, direct to your device each morning, please see the link beneath this video. Also, if you'd like to get your year 2022 personal forecast, you can do so and get your character analysis as well. You will get the full 12 months from the time of the order to the end of next year. If you order in January, you will get 12 months from that point, but 30% off too. Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to your weekly horoscope forecast for week commencing the 20th of December. Christmas week for you sees Mars, the planet of drive, sparkling in your sign, and by the end of this week forging a terrifically constructive link with Saturn. Now, Saturn gets a bad rap, but if there is something you're really excited about that you're visualizing at the moment, and perhaps even really getting a plan into the stage of moving it forwards, I feel by the end of this week there could be a sense that you're onto something, and it could be something that gives you a financial return. Now, it may be that there's going to be a little bit of a hiatus before you revisit it in the new year, but I certainly think some plans that you get in place this week can look exciting. Now, of course, last week there was a full moon in your opposite sign, and it is still possible that as we make our way into this new week, someone could be a little bit grouchy that you've been rather preoccupied with your own needs, and perhaps it's this big project that's gripping you. But I feel that the sun's arrival on Tuesday with the winter solstice into the sign of Capricorn is just encouraging you really to appreciate what you have, but also what you've achieved or what you've held on to over this last couple of tumultuous years for us all. And even if some income sources have made way because of COVID, I feel that the very entrepreneurial link of Venus and Pluto can see you along with this dramatic Mars energy. I do feel that the sun's arrival in this sector too can see you having lots of thoughts and lots of conversations over the winter holidays about how you're going to act things out in a very constructive way next year. So believe in yourself. Remember, your ruling planet is the lovely Jupiter, which is all about optimism and positivity, and that linked very well to that full moon last week. So even if you do have a discussion with someone, there is something to be gained from this. And then the fact that we do have Saturn and Uranus in that right angle, I think the main danger with that could be a little bit of stress. If you are finding it difficult to sleep, perhaps because you've got an overload of all these ideas bubbling around your mind, it wouldn't be a surprise. So if you can, give yourself some permission to have some time to yourself over this winter break. And because of all this second house energy, what a fabulous opportunity to eat well, to enjoy some of the traditional fare of Yule. And I'd like to wish you a very happy Christmas.